in the news and the government. They want you to be scared of Islam. They want you to believe that people in Islamic nations are Han Meditations. Hello guys, I'm Han. This is my wife Kelly. We're back with another video today. We're so grateful for you guys. I just need to give a thanks to everyone that's been donating. Thank you guys so much for your donations. You guys are actually changing our lives because you are on the journey with us together. You've seen us for months now, a lot of you, and we're appreciating all your beautiful messages and everything. You don't have to donate, of course. All you need to do is watch the video, like and subscribe and comment. But if you do want to donate, the link is in the description. But I have to thank everybody that has been doing it because you guys are the best. So let's get into this video.
Yeah, you're talking about illiteracy. That you have to go back 200 years in the West to find that level of illiteracy. I think this is precisely the kind of reasoning that's used to justify the bombing and commercial colonization of those territories. They're not like us. They treat women different from us. I don't think we're in a position to make those judgments. I think that these kind of sort of theoretical tableaus are used to create a false hierarchy and a moral superiority by a dominant culture that subsequently uses thinking of this nature to underwrite the modern day colonization and subjugation of these people on a massive scale. And as barbaric and disgusting as 9/11 was, a daily 9/11 since then, so that a state system can perpetuate itself using rationalism, using comfortable means of executions that glide slyly by all white in the sky, is no better than 9/11 that it was a riposte too. Right, and suicide bombing.
So it's just aesthetics, really.
No, it's not.
Suicide bombing looks bad. A drone bombing,
it's not just aesthetics. It's not just aesthetics.
Well, how is it not aesthetic?
When you're talking about the possibility of something like nuclear terrorism or biological terrorism, that where someone tries to weaponize smallpox and kill 100 million people.
Let's just mention that nuclear terrorism is not hypothetical. It already happened 50 years ago, underwritten by secularism.
I won't call that nuclear terrorism.
Or nuclear, I don't know.
There was certainly a first
I
use
bet if you're in Nagasaki that day, semantics wouldn't be your primary concern. What should we call that thing? Ow, my teeth. When you say a suicide bomber, I admit that it's an extraordinary and it's difficult for us to understand. But what I'm curious about, Sam, is that what are the prerequisite conditions for suicide bombing even to be relevant? And I also can't help but thinking when I sort of feel when we sort of recall events like Waco or any disruption or anything that sort of ruptures the sort of like the American mainframe. Well, not American, because I think this goes beyond nation. If you find yourself in opposition to the state, the means by which the state will deploy violence doesn't need to resort to sort of lurid, livid, blatant, clumsy acts like suicide bombing, because the power is so evident. The ability to exert power and control is so total that it doesn't need sort of like almost the sort of graphic and horrific whimsy of something like a suicide bombing, albeit underwritten by something that looks peculiar to people like us that value life and value fun and don't have a belief system that's like, I'll be in some sort of Valhalla subsequently.
Wow. Now, if you don't know who Sam Harris is, he's a known atheist and he is a debater. He's a very good debater, and he debates people all the time. So Russell Brand is actually, that's pretty good. He's debating different people. Yeah. And I commend anybody who wants to jump in the ring and debate anyone and talk about different ideas, because Kelly and I were saying a long time ago, probably about a month ago, once we started learning even more about Islam, we're like, we never really had a trust for the government in the first place, right? So once we did start learning about this information, we're like, why is it that Islam is one of the religions that no one seems to want you to be a part of, that in the news and the government, they want you to be scared of Islam. They want you to believe that people in Islamic nations are terrorists and they're just normal people living their normal lives. Beautiful people, some of the most beautiful in the world, kind hearts, big hearts. And there's something that Andrew Tate says a lot is, every time you watch movies, you see it in the U.S. and in the West, you see these kind of end of the world states and chaos is going on. Everyone is looting and robbing and murdering each other. But there are states of being like that right now in the Middle East in certain places. And these people are not doing that. They're coming together and they're even getting closer to their family. So And a lot of that is because of Islam, because of the belief in God, because that they truly believe in a higher power. And that's something that a lot of people need to start adopting and start listening to the call of God and stop listening to the call of their ego or to shaitan.
Yeah. So, you know, this was a really great conversation. Obviously, it was just clips, but, you know, all those points made, I mean, that's also assuming that 9/11 was what they say it was, right?
Oh, for sure.
So if the conspiracies are true about 9/11, I mean, that would prove right there.
I mean, some aren't conspiracies. Some of the things, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that some aren't conspiracies.
So, you know, if that itself is a setup, I mean, that right there is like, there's nothing left to discuss. Like, there's an agenda to make Islamophobia. But yeah, I mean, I see what Russell Brand is saying about the suicide bomb. It's like, it's almost like there's a couple examples out there, and then it's just like through the media, they just try to make it represent, you know, as a whole, like, oh, these people are so radical that that's what they're willing to do. But I mean, that's across many different, you know, cultures and things. Like we have, you know, the Japanese suicide airplanes, you know, and we don't go around thinking like, oh, that Japanese people are so radical, you know, like they would die for their beliefs. You know what I mean? Like it's just. I mean,
people do think that, and it's called kamikaze. But also, but I'm not getting into that, the suicide bombing and all that. These are all different, and every group has people that are going to be radical and essentially every sect of people have people that are crazy that'll do anything. Yeah. So. You know, you can't judge someone based on an outlying situation.
Exactly.
Because that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's the same thing with people judge all black people based on one black person, or all white people based on one white person, or, you know, whatever. It just does not make any logical sense. And you're completely wrong if you think that way in the first place. Mm-hmm. But what we're truly here to do is to open people's mind. Because our mind wasn't open at that time. I mean, our mind was always open, but we just didn't know. We had access to the information, but we weren't accessing it. You understand? A lot of people have access to the information, but they're not accessing the information. That's why if you're just sharing the video, it helps. That's why if you're commenting, it helps. If you're liking, it helps. Because people need to access this information and know. We need a mass opening of the eyes of the people of the world so that we can get people ready, because I do believe that it is the end times in a way that, not in a fearful way that you're supposed to be scared and fear mongering. I believe it's the end times in a way that it's the end of a cycle. A new beginning is coming. A new change is coming. Things are happening. Good things are coming. God is coming into people's lives even more now. And people have to understand that and believe that and know what's true, because God is coming and God is here now. You just have to open your mind and your hearts to God and have that ability to seek God, because the choice is yours.
Exactly. It is a new beginning. It is time yet again to smash all the false idol statues and understand the power of the one God. And
beautiful. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you
in the next video.